Hello, I'm AviX3Cat and welcome back to the video. So I'm currently in the Dominican Republic and I wanted to just share something with you because while I was on the plane here, some important news came out because Dinnerbone and Lady Agnes went to Minevention and they did their first, Q&A panel about Minecraft's future at a Minecraft-style event since Minecon was cancelled, back in 2016. So I wanted to share this with you all because it is, 28 minutes of uncut kind of footage and you can see all of their answers to stuff. And also, I'm not just sharing this because, it's cool. They answered about how, it would be cool to do a cave update. They'd love to do that sometime soon. They spoke about dolphins, they spoke a bunch of other stuff, but also because the only footage of the event we have is not very easy to hear. It's tricky to, the audio's not that great and it's really tricky to go through. So very fortunately enough, Casey though, one of the moderators on the channel, has actually gone through and subtitled it all so you can actually watch it with subtitles. So this is the only copy on YouTube with subtitles and I wanted to share that with you all so that you can watch it and that later we can come through and we can talk about that cave update, about the other stuff that Dinnerbone said, and it's something I wanted to share, so hopefully you'd all enjoy. Let's play the 20 minutes of footage and have a nice day everyone. Goodbye.
Sat next to us today, Agnes and Dinnerbone from Mojang, all the way from Sweden, and they've come here to talk to us about the new Aquatic updates. So welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It's great to be here.
Good. So the first question we had was, what was the inspiration for this update?
Okay. Do you hear me? Yes? Cool. So, yeah, actually, we thought the oceans were a bit boring. I mean, it was not that much to explore, and exploring is a big thing in Minecraft, so we just wanted to make the oceans more exciting. There should be lots of cool things to find there and do. So, that was the main inspiration.
Okay, very good. So you have a question?
So you just launched a new conduit. What exactly is a conduit?
Yeah, please answer that question. What is a conduit?
It's a very good question. So this is something we've been keeping a secret basically until 2-3 days ago when we just released it. It's like, surprise! It's a very spooky block that gives you a lot of cool powers. It helps you kind of tame the sea. You place it in the base and it just kind of I guess makes it inhabitable. You can swim faster, you can breathe underwater, you can see better, all that kind of stuff. And there's this huge press chain almost thing to actually get the conduit. It's like an adventure in itself, getting one of these things.
Okay, right. I understand that, I think. Solly, have you played with a conduit before?
No, I don't think I have.
Are you looking forward to this conduit play in the future?
Definitely. I mean, I might have played a conduit before without realizing that if it is my first time, I'm definitely really, really excited.
Brilliant. So, our next question. The new hostile drowned mob. Tell us about that.
Yes, so the drowned, they're like the monsters or the undead of the sea. I think they're pretty scary actually. They spawn under the ocean, or they also spawn in rivers actually. And also, if the zombie is underwater for too long, they will convert to drown. And yeah, they can, for example, hold tridents. And I know when I add them and tested them, they killed me so many times because they are so hard to fight. I think so, please. And yeah, so they have some cool drops and they will chase you and yeah, the monsters of the sea.
Sounds scary.
I think they are.
So about the dolphins, was there any problem adding it?
Problem with dolphins, yeah. So I'm sure everybody's seen the dolphin already. They're just this super cute animal that swims around in the ocean and videos out of the plane. They got some really fun behaviors, they love to play with items in the water, they love to swim around boats and jump over your head and all that, but it looks very cute, but there's so many problems when we're trying to add that. There's so many technical design issues, you want something to jump over your head, but you also don't want them to try to jump out of the water and land on land and then be sad. There's also some behaviors that we wanted to add with the dolphins that we don't think are quite there yet. There's one in the works, but
What's that? What's in the works? Oh, you heard it here first, kids.
You want?
Yeah. Which of them? The words are little digital.
Alright. Sure. So, the one behavior that they're for sure getting is we want them to be super friendly. So they're already like this really friendly animal that they like to swim around. They swim in group. They're a very social animal. If you upset one of them, you kind of upset every dolphin. But we want them to be friendly to the player as well. So what we want to try and do is so that if the player starts swimming with the dolphin, it just like forms a path with the dolphin, and you start going really fast. And it's just like a nicer way to travel on the water is with the dolphin friends, basically. I think that'd be very cute.
I like that. And there are other animals, lots of animals, aquatic animals that have developed. Tell me about the turtle. I like the look of the turtle.
The turtle. Oh yeah. Lots of things to them. So when we started to work with turtles, we actually read a lot about real life turtles and got inspired from that. So we really wanted to have the eggs that hatch and the turtle babies crawling to the ocean. So we added that, and then I also got a lot of inspiration from that turtles travel a lot. So made them travel far away, but they always remember the beach, so they will always come back to the beach where they were hatched from the beginning. So you can have their own turtle beach, and they can have their eggs and you can
You must have become very attached to these animals.
Yeah, I mean, spend lots of hours working with turtles, for sure.
Have you been dreaming turtles and dolphins for the past year?
Sometimes I do dream of dolphins.
They're very cute. You've done a very good job.
So I know you like dolphins and the turtles, but what like overall is your favourite thing in the aquatic update?
Oh, tough question. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's a very tough question. Honestly, for me, it's everything. Like,
I really like the atmosphere, the overall, like when you swim in the ocean, it's, so much thing going on, lots of plants and the coral and suddenly dolphins swim by. See, just a new atmosphere of the ocean and exploring the ocean at the moon or shipwreck. Yeah, I really like that. And I like collecting fish.
but I've always been a bit upset that oceans are basically half of the Minecraft world. Like, you got all the land and you got all these cool things on land, and then you got water, and then there's nothing in the water, and you just go over the water to get some land. So it's really just nice that we have, it feels like a full world now. There's actually things in half of the game.
It's really exciting. Taken a long time, but well worth it.
Yeah.
Right, so we have had a few questions from here. We're now going to show you a few outtakes, because as they were putting all this together, they had a few problems here now. Is that fair to say?
Quite a few issues.
Yeah.
We've not done a very good job of collecting them, but
Oh yeah, so here's the blooper video. So you can see turtles without head. That's not intended. And this one as well. The legs are not attached to the turtle. Oops. Oh yeah, and this is, you see the baby turtle in the middle? The head is super big and not attached to the rest of the baby. That's also not intended. And flying baby turtles. Yeah.
they're flying, it's great. This is when we started adding the dolphin. We were testing the animation, we actually made a water wheel with the dolphin, and it just looked so cool. We had to make a footage of that. And one of the technical changes we've done is we rewrote the world generation, and that caused a lot of problems, like too many trees. There's so many trees in the game right now. Flying UFOs, apparently, we had some issues with the lighting engine, so we just had like random UFO spots in the world. Or just sometimes the world didn't work at all. I think that's kind of a tiny problem. We'll solve it eventually. And everyone's favorite, 4 high cacti. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, and this is the swimming. You can see we're flipping the wrong direction. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool when you like super cool swimming through it, but it's not supposed to go backwards. And this is also from when debugging the swimming animation. We actually got some really good parts there. You see, it just is very weird.
This is where we're prototyping the enchantments for the trident, and this is the loyalty enchantment, its first iteration, which is a giant string.
And this is a drown, and as you can see, he's just found so many tridents. And I was testing the ground and thought, oh, they work really well now. And then I just found this drown, throwing tridents. Oh, and this is the salmon cod, or cod. And also very great animation. this is the absolute first test of icebergs. So I just wrote an algorithm and said, oh, let's test it, and then it looked like this. And it's maybe not what I wanted, but it was funny.
They do look so much cooler now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, you guys have too much fun. Too much fun.
We really do. It's just like a great day in the office when it's just like, hey guys, I accidentally made this really stupid thing.
I'm having a bad iceberg day. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better one. Oh, great. So we have a few more questions, and then we're going to go over to some lucky winners in the audience that submitted their questions, and the best ones were chosen, so we have them here. So, Solly.
Well, like in the video, you obviously get lots of bugs when you make a new update, but what do you think was one of the worst bugs?
Okay, one I really thought was kind of bad was a crash caused by the drown. I don't know how much how to explain exactly why, but so the drown related to the zombies, but they kind of got things from the zombies that they couldn't do that caused the game to crash. But it's just fine. But when I saw it, I thought, oh,
That was very annoying. You basically couldn't have a world in Minecraft.
that's my.
That sound would spawn and you'd just be like, no, I want to crash your game now.
Sounds very annoying.
It does sound annoying. And I guess a really bad day at work is that you get a bug in it and it all crashes.
Yes, because it feels so bad. I mean, I want to have fun and play the game. It's like, oh no, what have I done? But yeah, we fix it.
It's very satisfying though. If you get a really horrible bug like that, where the game just doesn't work, and you spend so much time fixing it, but then when you fix it, it's like the best feeling in the world.
And you all seem so lovely at Mojang. So if you're having a bad day, how do you all kind of make each other feel better? Well, what do you do in the office? Nice donut?
There are lots of goes. I think we do. Yeah, lots of laughing and funny goes.
Yeah, we just try to keep positive spirits really. And there's always hugs available if anyone really has.
Oh, we like that. Isn't that
Yeah.
lovely?
But otherwise, yeah, it's just like, we always just try to make sure nobody's having like a really tough time. If someone's struggling on something, work on something nice. Take a break.
And then, when you do have like a really bad bug, and like, what would you do to fix it? Like, how do you fix it?
It's a very interesting question. It really depends on the bug. It depends on a lot of situations around it. Usually, what we'll try and, well, the very first step in any kind of bug hunt, as we call it, is we got to reproduce the bug ourselves. Because if someone just says the game doesn't work, we got to figure out how. So once we've actually got the bug ourselves, we'll just kind of go through the whole code and just like, okay, how did they get to this point? How did we possibly figure out? Like, for example, the trident throwing, the drown throwing trident to the wall is just like, okay, why does he keep doing this? Why is he not stopping doing this?
Yeah, so we really need to first understand what is to buy and then why does it happen, and then we can try to actually make fixes in the code. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's really complicated.
It sounds really complicated. The way we fix things in our house is we turn things off and then we turn things back on again. But I guess it's a little bit more complicated.
Not that much more complicated. It's always also the way where once you fix a bug, you add like 20 other bugs, so it's a very frustrating hunt of like, how do I fix this without breaking everything else?
Yeah, that's actually really well done, big brains.
And then, this is to the inspiration one, but when you have like a couple more updates you want to add, how do you pick those updates?
So it's kind of a question, but it's often, I think it starts with like one idea, maybe two, then we like them, and then that spirals out to, work adaptive.
We always have a general idea of the next few updates. There's not set in stone, it's just like, we think that this is something we want to look at some point. And then when it comes time to actually make the decision, okay, what is this update? Then we'll just be like, okay, which one is more important to be done now? For example, with the oceans, it's like, well, the oceans just have nothing in it, let's fix that.
And with the Aquatic update, I've heard a rumor that you are kind of have a phobia of like fish. So how did you feel about the Aquatic update then?
You have to stare at fish every day. You don't like them.
Fish are friends, not food. I don't like fish. I have a phobia of being underwater. And that also kind of transitions to video games. Because I've never played a video game where I like being underwater. Like, you've always got the stuff like Zelda with the water level, and even World of Warcraft where they made a whole zone underwater. I don't like that. And that was actually kind of a cause of concern for us, is like, how do we make something that we're proud to play ourselves? I think we did a really good job. I was very skeptical at first, but it worked out. It's actually really fun to be underwater.
So why are you afraid of being underwater?
It's hard to say. Yeah, just broke. That's why.
I think that's something you can deal with later with councils.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's really apparent. You know, it comes across really well that when you're creating a Mojang, you do that because you all love it and it really comes across in the game. So I have a question from the parents' point of view. I had a sneak peek preview of the new features that are going to be in the game, and I saw lots of new plants and fish, and saw a few things that I'd never ever heard of or seen before. One of them was a sea pickle. I don't know if any of you have seen the sea pickle before, but anyway, it's in the new update. And as a parent, I don't know if any of you parents out here would relate to me, I really enjoy it when my kids learn things from computer games, and in Minecraft in particular, that's something that comes across a lot. So I remember feeling really proud a few months ago when my children in their grandma's garden, they could name loads of plants because they learned them in Minecraft, which is great. So I guess my question is, with the Aquatic update, what will they learn? What is there to learn from this?
Tricky question.
Yeah, I think you can learn from lots of different features, like coral. We have lots of different kinds of coral with name from the coral, as like turtles and dolphins powerfully behave as they do in the work. We take inspiration from the real world. We don't do exact the same that we love inspiration, of course, we add real things. We have some other sea plants as well, like cedars, stuff like that.
Yeah, whenever we try to add something to the game, I mean, first and foremost, we're a game, so we try to make things fun. But at the same time, I mean, if we can teach something new, I think that's always a very cool thing for us to be able to do. So there's a couple of situations where we added something and then we'll go back and change it to be a bit more, not so much educational, but maybe a bit more correct. One notable one recently with this update is the turtle shell. When baby turtles grow up, they drop a shell in Minecraft, or a piece of the shell. And turned out they actually had a real life name. Like, we just called it a turtle shell piece, but there's actually a specific name for this.
And it was the community that told us
Yeah.
this is what's called a turtle shell piece, and they said, but it's cool, it's cute. And then we're shaking, read about turtles like, oh yes, that's actually very nice.
Yeah, so
So
we
it's
just
an
went into
education
the
thing as well.
It is. The community educates us, and then we try and educate the world. I think it's really cool.
That is very cool. So yes, we're going to be making lots of aquatic experts out of you, Minecraft community. You're all going to know your stuff.
And now we've got some questions from some lucky people that text Lisa that might not necessarily be here, but they've asked some questions that they would like you to answer. And the first question is, will you guys ever add tornadoes or and real life disasters into the game?
And that question is from Lego Show TV.
So the boring answer is no, but I want to explain why. So we want the player to be responsible for things that kind of breaks the world, or breaks it, because otherwise if you build lots of things and then something breaks anything, that might be a problem. So, but for example, creepers, they can explode, but only if you're very close to them. So that's an example for the player is actually reason to that something bad happened to the world. So for like tornadoes, it might be hard to make the player be the reason to that happen. That's why it's hard for us to happen.
I think it can be really upsetting if you were just, I don't know, you left your computer running while you went to go eat food in real life, and then you come back and it turned out your world was wrecked by a tornado. That's why we try to make it so that somehow it was the player's fault that it got wrecked. So I mean, if we ever come up with design that works, then maybe we'll add it.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
Okay, and then the second question that this unlucky person wants to ask is, turtles have been added in and look fantastic. Any other mobs, animals you guys have considered and would like to add? And that question was from Billy KW.
Very good question. I think animals, basically every real life animal has some kind of place in Minecraft. I don't think there's any that we don't want to add. It's just always a question of, we've got to find a good fit for it in the game. We don't want to add something just for the sake of adding it. We want to add it so that it somehow enriches the world. It somehow has something unique that it's bringing us. Like, for example, the turtles have a nice new drop. They're a very social creature. You can form a bond with a turtle. You've got horses where you can travel, things like that. So while I think we'll eventually add lots and lots of animals, I couldn't really say what they would be or when we would add them. That said, personally, and I've said this a lot on the internet for like the last 5 years, I still want to see pandas in the game.
I want to see pandas. Why don't you add them?
Just gotta find a fit for them.
Hands up if you want to see pandas. See, they want to see pandas.
There's lots of other animals I would love to see as well. It's just always a matter of when can we possibly add them, what can we do, that kind of situation.
Okay, and then the third question is what is the ultimate goal? What is the ultimate goal for fluid physics? Will we get items flowing past fences as previewed, or was that too ambitious? What about lava? And that's from Kyle Cuthbert.
That's another very good question. So we did, when we announced the update Aquatic, we did show this cool water physics with waters inside partial blocks and items flow through fences and stuff like that. It's kind of a balance between how much change do we want to do at once and actually what can we do in the code base. It's very tricky getting water to the way it does now in update Aquatic. I still think there's a few more things I'd like to do to make it a bit more relatable, a bit more understandable, so it actually works as you'd expect it to. And definitely in the future, I'm not sure when this would be, we still want to change this. I mean, I would personally love to see lava inside blocks. I'd love to see water only on one half of a glass pane, for example. But it's just really hard to do that, and then if we come back to this, we should find a way where this fits either of an update, I guess.
Okay, and then the fourth question, is what is the one thing that you personally added to Minecraft that you're most proud of? And that question is from Marcus.
It's a good question. Maybe turtles, because I think they were unique and they were tricky to add and they have a lot of story to them. Or maybe icebergs, because they're cold, that's right. Because I kind of like how the icebergs ended up, and I spent quite much time on the algorithm together with that.
I feel like people are not going to like me if I answer this, but my absolute favorite thing that I've added is the skeleton AI. I've always wanted to make them the most tricky, the most clever mob in the game. So they should be able to strafe, they should be able to hide behind blocks to shoot you. I'm never going to be totally happy with that, but if it poses a challenge, I want that.
I also want to see skeletons hiding behind trees and then shooting and going back and you have no idea where it comes from.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, and then so the fifth question is, will you ever do an underground update? And that is by the Intello box.
So an underground update is something that we wanted for a very long time. So we just need to find a good time for it. But it's for sure something we want to do.
Good, Solly. Next question.
So, number what's the hardest feature you've both implemented in Minecraft? And that's by Sick It. Good name.
I don't know. For me, I've added so many things. It's really hard to think of like a single thing that's been so difficult. I've been working on the game for 6 years now, and it's hard to remember exactly what did I add or anything. But I think the thing that gave me the most trouble was item frames. It was very, very hard at the time to make item frames actually work. There's so many special cases, stuff like putting a map in an item frame, rotating an item frame, putting it on the walls. There's so many problems to try to get out. And then kind of related to that with maps themselves. I've changed maps so many times over the years, and I'm still not happy with how they work.
Yeah, for me, I think actually it's the AI because of two reasons. One is that they are both on land and water, and we didn't have the mobs on land and water before, so that gave some issues. And then also that they travel far away, and then they need to find their way back home without getting stuck somewhere, and so that was really tricky to do the navigation for them.
Gosh, your heads must hurt a lot of the time. So much that you have to fix, solve, create.
It's a busy job.
So then the seventh question, how long does it take to make a mob? Like all texture, features, everything. And that is by Darkman3.
That's a good question. Again, lots of good questions. It depends on the mob, of course. Some mobs like add more new things and it might take more time. But I would guess, so what we do when we add a mob, first we discuss the features. What should it do? What is its unique things? What do we add to the game? And then we start to prototype and often add lots of things to them, and then we remove things that doesn't work or add new things. And then we also mentioned whether pictures and models, and we also have artists that do some of the pictures. It's often more than one person who works on one mob. But maybe if it takes like 3 weeks to do the first version that we're happy with, but then we also need to fix all the bugs that there might be, and we'll listen to feedback from community. So it's hard to give a specific time, but something like that.
You said like the artists do like the mobs. This isn't a question on here, but I was just wondering, like, is there ever a time where like the artist draws like a mob that not many of you like, and then they have to redesign it?
Yes, I mean, yes, we do redesign a lot. So it's like a collaboration between a lot of people. Like okay, if we told to do this, maybe we could make this. Oh, but I think it's too blue-green. It should be more green-green or something. Lots of in details. But yes, we do a lot of redesigns to make it feel as big as we want.
It is also quite common where we design a mob and someone makes the textures for it and we think this is amazing, I love this. And then just like as a very last minute thing, someone goes, what if it has this? And everyone goes, oh my gosh, this is amazing. We're redesigning everything.
That's very funny. Oh my days. You must be like, but it was all nice fit.
So for those of you who stuck around all the way to the end of the video, first of all, well done. I know attention spans on YouTube are ever growing shorter, so good job on that, first of all. And second of all, I wanted to talk about the whole Dinnerbone thing. He did tweet saying there'd be more slabs and stuff, but he tweeted a bit afterward. Again, I kind of need to make a whole own thing on that, because it's not something I can just say that happened, but he did say more slabs and stairs, so look forward to that. And then third of all, you might be curious as to what I'm doing in the Dominican. I kind of just offhandedly mentioned it, because it wasn't too relevant. I just wanted to explain what's with the camera quality. And this short answer is like, well, I'll make a 2-cat video on what I want to do here, because it's an island divided by 2 countries, and I find that interesting. The other thing is it's just, you know, like super nice weather or not nice by my standards, but and yeah, it's been a really interesting experience going to somewhere like this, and I guess seeing, you know, from the eyes of, I guess, something else. So yeah, again, you'll see a 2-cat video if you care about what's going on here. If you don't care, then it probably won't come up in many videos. So good news all round there, and I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like it if you're into that, share it if you're into that, and if you're not into either of those things, then I guess you have to subscribe and see these videos then on your homepage. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.